Sometimes movies are better than their books. I know, just take a deep breath and just let me explain. I'm not talking about Harry Potter, just let me explain. The first book that I will be talking about is Whip It by Shauna. It was published in 2007 and it follows Bliss Cavendar, who lives in Bodine, Texas, and she doesn't really feel like she belongs anywhere until one day she goes to Austin with her friend and watches roller derby for the first time. She's really inspired, so she joins a team and she actually finds out that she's pretty good, but she has to hide this from her parents. Her mom is quite straight-laced and is super into pageants and wants Bliss to be in the annual Blue Bonnet pageant, something or other. Bliss does not want any of it. So the movie came out 2 years later and it was Drew Barrymore, my best friend's directorial debut, and I loved the movie. It also stars my other best friend, Ellen Page. I love the movie. It's so good. It's funny. It's smart. It has a great mother-daughter relationship theme going on, and I loved it. And the screenplay for the movie was also written by Shauna, who wrote the book. So one would think you would enjoy both of them. Not the case. The book and the movie are quite similar, but I feel like the main character Bliss is quite different. Like in the movie I loved her, but in the book I found her really annoying, and I was just getting like really fed up by some of the decisions and how she was reacting to things. And it's fine to have an unlikable main character. I didn't like it. One would think that if it was written by the same person, they would both be amazing, but that's not the case. The second one is the beloved The Godfather. So I don't think I've actually talked about my deep love for the movie The Godfather here before. I love The Godfather. I love Godfather Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Godfather 3 might not be on it the same level, but it's a special snowflake. You got Sofia Coppola's death scene. It's a masterpiece in itself. So for those of you who don't know what The Godfather is about, it follows the Corleone family, who is a mafia family, and they are one of the 5 families in New York. They pretty much run New York. Don Corleone, who is the patriarch of the family, is getting older and he needs someone to take over the family business of olive oil. That's a cover. And he has 3 sons to choose from. Again, Mario Puzo, who wrote the book, also wrote the screenplay with Francis Ford Coppola. And he actually wanted to write Part 4 of The Godfather, but sadly he died before he got the chance. So if I remember correctly, the book ends where the second movie ends. So there's 2 movies technically in this book, and it is quite a read. But I feel like the film took all the best bits. They're like, hey, we want this and we want that. We don't need that. Why'd you include that in the book? You don't need it. And they just took all the good bits and they made the film. Coppola had the vision and he made it happen. I would only suggest you read this book if you're a really big fan of The Godfather and you're just curious. You're curious where it came from and how the movie was born. So then read it. But otherwise, you don't need to. Just stick to the movie and you'll be good. So the last book that I will be talking about, I feel like gonna be a little controversial. It's The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I love the movie. I grew up watching the movie. The movie is perfect. It's funny. It's smart. It's romantic. It's so wonderful and perfect. So I thought after having many viewings of the movie, hey, I want to read the book. It's probably amazing as well. William Goldman, who wrote the book, also wrote the screenplay. He also wrote the screenplay for All the President's Men, for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, for Chaplin. He's written a bunch of screenplays. He's also won 2 Oscars. So this man clearly knows what he's doing. Except when he did this. So William Goldman pretends that he did not write The Princess Bride, so he doesn't get the flack. No, that's not why. He said he found this book, and it's from the small town in Italy, I think, and it was written by S. Morgenstern, and he spent years of his life trying to learn more about him, and then so he kind of put this book together, and he's kind of written an introduction to the book. The introduction is so long. You get parts of Goldman's fake personal life, you get parts of what he's going through with his son, and then you get him like searching for the original book. So annoying, especially in the beginning. He keeps interrupting, like, oh well this kind of means this, or I cut this part out because he went on about hay or something weird. It's really annoying. And then Goldman gives S. Morgenstern compliments about the writing, which is actually just him giving himself a compliment. In the words of Paris Geller, edit. Once you do get to the actual story, it does get better, and it is funny, and there's a couple of scenes that were not in the movie that were good, but man, it takes you a long time to actually get to the story and to get him to actually stop interrupting every couple of paragraphs. So those are my selections and opinions about movies that were better than the books they came from. I would love to know what you think if you've read any of these books and have watched the movies, because am I really off with The Princess Bride? And I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Before I start this video, I'd like to state that, what am I going to state? Ringtone. Theme song. It's currently my theme song in my life. It's wherever I go it plays.